Hi everyone, my name is Ray, or some of you might know me as Tiki with Ray, and today I am in my Tiki bedroom. I like to call it Tiki with Ray's Tiki Hideaway. Today I wanted to talk about my favorite Tiki mug, or my favorite statue. And I don't even know if the Moai is actually considered a Tiki or not, but it's in the Tiki culture that it practically is. My introduction to the Moai started like back when I was a kid. There was this television show called In Search Of, and it actually had Leonard Nimoy from Star Trek, Spock, who used to host the show. And it was this show. It was this show that was sort of like ancient mysteries, like is there Bigfoot? Is there like proof of Bigfoot? Is there the abominable snowman? Like what's the Bermuda Triangle? Is there something actually happening? And they had an episode about Easter Island. And in this footage, they had all these like Easter Island Moais, these Easter Island heads that were like found all over this island. And I just remember as a kid, like it really like fascinated me. It's funny because the show was filmed in the 70s, so the film was like really rough looking. They had like weird sound effects and everything like that. So it actually kind of creeped me out a little bit. But it also sparked my imagination too. So when I got into Tiki, and then I saw that there was actually like Moai mugs, I'm like, oh man, well that's what I got to get, and get a lot of them. So the first one I got out of all these is actually this guy right here. It's a cheap one. It's like a no-namer. It's from a place called the Tiki Lounge that's in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. And I lived in Pittsburgh from 2008 to 2009. And at that time, there was one tiki bar, and it was called the Tiki Lounge. And built out, great, old school tiki, bamboo thatched the whole 9 yards. And they had the whole situation where like if you bought a drink, you got to keep the mug. It was like $12 at the time, and again, so that would have been like $12 now for tiki drinks, nothing. But back then, it was like, oh wow, that's a lot of money. And to be honest with you, this was my third tiki bar ever, actually. And the start of my Tiki mug collection was started with all these mugs that I got from the Tiki Lounge because I went there a lot. And then it figures I moved to Seattle, and then Hidden Harbor opens up a couple years later. And if you live in Pittsburgh, or if you live in anywhere near Pittsburgh, you need to check out Hidden Harbor and the Tiki Lounge for two different reasons. Like the Tiki Lounge just has like that old school Tiki aesthetic, and Hidden Harbor has like some of the best Tiki drinks I think I've had across the country. But anyway, this little guy here, this was my first Moai. And again, nothing special about it. It's not worth anything, but it started my Moai journey, so to speak. My next one is I actually bought these two right here. And I actually found them at an antique shop that was in Seattle. And this one here is actually, I love the kind of like the wood finish of it, well, the fake wood finish. And this is actually from Trader Vic's, from Sparks, Nevada. And I see a lot of Trader Dick's mugs all over. Well, especially like up here because we're not that far from Nevada. Sadly, Trader Vic's has been long gone for many, many years. And it just goes to show you like how many people went to this bar because these mugs are easy to find. The interesting thing about this particular Moai, though, is there's no names on it. There's no markings on it. And usually, I've seen this black Moai before, and usually on the back, there'd be, something where somewhere like a bar could stamp their name of their bar on there, and it'd be like a souvenir. And that's how like a lot of these mugs were. There'd be like one company or two companies that would make mugs generically. And you could be, hey, I want you to put the name of our Tiki bar on this mug, and then people could sell them as souvenirs. They didn't really care so much about like originality back then, but the Tiki Bob actually was kind of like the first real Tiki Bob, the Tiki mug that actually associates with a particular Tiki bar. And well, I guess there's the Tiki Bob that was in the Bay Area, and then there's the other Tiki Bob that was actually at the Bali High down in New Orleans, but that's another story. This mug here, this Moai, is a Monk Tiki mug. If you know who they are based out of the Pacific Northwest, and they make some of the best beautiful looking tiki mugs I've seen. And this is funny because this is literally just kind of like if you ordered the zombie at the Alibi for like a couple bucks more, you actually get to keep the mug. And it's like it was like $25 for the drink and the mug. And it's a steal. And mine I have here is brown, but they actually have like other different colors. And it's a solid mug, you know. I'm surprised I don't have more of these because I've drinking my fair share of zombies. And for the record, 1947. That's when the Alibi. Well, the building's been there for a long time. It's been there for like almost a century, if not longer. But it actually became a tiki bar in the 40s, and the course changed over the years. But it is one of the oldest tiki bars out there, and I love it. It's one of my favorite tiki bars. And if you get a chance to go to Portland, go there and let me know that you're coming because I'll go with you. This Moai here was given to me some friends of mine that are in the Detroit area. This is actually a Moai from the Mutiny Bar. And I've never been to the Mutiny Bar, but I hear a lot of great things about it, and I want to go. Eventually, I will make it out there and be able to drink out of one of these in person. But until the meantime, you know, thank you for the mugs. Speaking of gifts, my friends Tom and Christina, they actually gave me not one of these, but two. I figured I'd just show you one. But they acquired these, I think, like in an antique shop, and then they moved. And they're like, "Well, hey, do you want these mugs?" I'm like, "Absolutely." And this is kind of a generic mug. I think it's made in Japan, and it's interesting because when I saw this, I'm like, "This is pretty much the same mug as the Kahiki mug from Ohio." And the interesting thing is I acquired this mug from a friend of mine in Indianapolis, and he gave me this mug, and then I thought like, oh my God, they're actually kind of the same but different. I mean, this one's a little bit taller than that one. The nose is a little bit bigger, but it's interesting because this is the Kahiki souvenir mug, and they are kind of like a dime a dozen. It says Kahiki there, but I wanted to get one of these. It meant a lot to me to get one of these because I never got a chance to go to the Kahiki. At this point, this is the only piece I have of that bar. So, and again, it's not really worth any money, but it's worth a lot of money to me. And I'm really glad to have it. My last mug I have is from Frankie's Tiki Room. It's this giant Moai. I mean, it's heavy. Frankie's, they're known for their tiki mugs, and I think Tiki Farm does a lot of what they do. And talk about souvenirs. That's what these all are. They're just souvenirs from of a tiki restaurant that you visited at one point or another. And, you know, getting back to my very first mug, this mug means a lot to me because I remember drinking out of that. Well, until I got drunk. You know, I remember drinking out of this when I had that zombie. I bought this. You know, I didn't drink out of this mug when I was at Frankie's. But there are other mugs that I have drank and I have brought home. And yeah, these mean a lot to me. And I'm curious to know in the comments below, what's your favorite or your most prized possession mugs in your collection? Like, I love Moais, but do you like Coos? Do you like Cook Island Tikis? What do you like? What kind of mugs are your favorite? And which ones are you passionate about? I'd love to hear from you. Well, until next time, aloha, mahalo, and all that other crap.